Hello, I am going to use this file folder and I'm going to make it into a cover for this notebook. So stay tuned and I'll show you how I'm going to do it. Hello, it's Edwina from Mycraft Orchard. How are you? Right then, so this is a cheapy notebook that I had out of the works. I had them a few years ago and I had this one and a pink one. And one of the reasons that I bought, they were half price I think it was, but secondly they've got this lovely plastic cover, and the cost of plastic covers can be quite a lot. So I actually bought them for the plastic cover, not the notebook, but I am using the notebook. So I've changed this into a bullet journal, which I'm in the process of setting up for next month. Well, actually, I think I'm going to start it this week. But so then I had this, and I think this came as part of a set out of the range. And I'm touching it. The problem is the cover. I love the fish on the other side are like Japanese coin. They had like a Japanese theme, but this plastic I really don't like the feel of, and because I don't like the feel of it, I'm not going to use it. It's just going to sit in my stash, or I'm going to have to give it away. So what I did is I opened it up and I actually felt the inside, and you know what, the plastic on the inside, it feels okay. So I could coat with the inside but not the outside. So I thought, how can I cover this? So what I thought was I would cut it down and it could actually sit under this plastic cover. So I took the notebook out of the plastic cover, and as you can see it's just an undecorated one, and you've got the yellow piece of paper, and then this has actually got the Oh Happy Days on the plastic, which is fine, but I don't like it on top of the fish, look. But the fish on their own, if I turn that round, looks absolutely great. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this down and to the size of this cover, and then I'm going to turn this round so this is at the back, and I'll show you why when we get there. Okay, now this is fine, the outside, this is fine, the outside is a bit, how can I explain it? It's like really smooth and just makes me want to go with my fingers, you know, sort of. So I can't use, because of the size of that, I can't use the front because of the press stud, but I could use this side for if I was going to put it into my Filofax, because I could put the cover sheet over the plastic bit I don't like, and then I'd use that part I could use as like a front cover, and that would work really well. So I'm going to use the nice piece at the back. Now I've just unpicked the edges, they just came away really easy, which then gives me this nice piece at the back, which is more than enough with the extra edges to cover that notebook. So I bought my Fiskars trimmer, and I'm just going to trim this down to start with. Because it's thin, it'll go through this no problem, and because of the sort of trimmer I've got, there's like plenty of room to get your paper in. And the one thing I like about this, and I don't know whether you can see it on camera, is there's actually a wire, sort of where the notch is on this, there's a wire all the way down, which is a guide, and it shows you where you're cutting, which I really like. You could do this with scissors, that's not a problem. I don't know if it's just going to cut all of it because it is slightly bigger than my trimmer. Just move it up a bit. There we go. And that's got rid of that. It just hasn't quite caught on that side, but it doesn't matter because I'm not using that edge anyway. So we've taken the flap off. To be honest, I would probably throw that away because I just don't like the feel of it. Ugh. I'm a bit funny like that when things aren't quite feeling the right way. So I've now cut those in half. So I've got a big piece and the smaller piece. So I'll put that to one side and I'll use that another day. So the next thing I need to do then is I need to decide which fish I want. So I've got a sort of like a ridgy edge on both sides. What I could do is I could cut those off. So the question is, do I want that big fish or do I want that fish? I think it depends. I don't think it matters which way these go up. I think I do quite like him. And if you folded that in half, that's sort of the look you would get. He's upside down. So I think that would be good as the front. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this ridge off here, this ridgy bit, first of all. And then I can decide. So do I cut this bit off or do I think maybe I want as much of the tail, as much of the fish as I can get. So what I'm doing is I'm just sort of lining that up like that. So I think if I put that in that corner, that would work. So I'm going to cut. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to put both in. Might have been better. Oh, let's cut this other. Let's have a look. Yeah, let's do the short edge first, because it'll fit in the trimmer easier. Like that. Offer that up. Line. What I'm doing is I'm lining the metal up with the edge of the journal cover. Ideally I would have grabbed some clips for this, but I forgot. And it doesn't matter if it's not exact at this point because it is, like I say, it's going into the plastic, so it needs to be, I'm going to do it about there. Take the other out. There we go. It's a little bit big, but what I'll do is I'll try it because it is thinner than the cardboard that I'm taking out. And it's easier to trim a tiny, it's better to cut it slightly bigger than slightly smaller because you can always trim a bit off, you can't glue a bit back on if it's too small. And then I'm going to do the same for that, offer that up to the edge, move that down a bit, just make sure that that's where it needs to be. Again, I'm going to cut it a little bit bigger. There we go. Let's see how that fits. So as I said, because I've got this Oh Happy Days bit on it, I'm going to put it in that way. So let's just try that. So So I think it needs to be trimmed. Oh, might not do. Yeah, it's just a tad off it. Just a tiny little bit off this edge. Just take a little bit off. Let's try that again. It definitely, I always find these sort of projects to be a trial and error. Take a bit off, add a bit on, that sort of thing. There we go. So that fits perfectly that way. Question is it too big lengthways now? Let's try it. I think it might be, but we'll see in a second when I've got it in. Yeah, because it's buckling, you see. Yeah, it's buckling. So I need to take a little bit off the edge. So that side's fine. So I'm going to leave that. I'm just going to sort of stick that one. And if you, I don't know whether you can see on camera, as I sort of squash that down, it is literally just a little bit that needs to come off. Just a little bit. Let's take a little bit off and let's try that again. I think that'll be okay. It might be a little bit big, but I'm going to try it anyway. So I'm now going to just tuck this journal back in, and what I'm going to do is I'm actually putting the fish upwards, and as you turn it over it says Oh Happy Days. So you could do it, but I don't really like the Oh Happy Days on the fish because it's just too busy for me, but that is perfect. And it's not going to bother me, and I'll show you why in a minute. Let me just put this back in. I'll just put that back into its plastic cover. Look at that, that looks perfect. Okay. The reason is I have taken the rings out of this, and I have a video coming out about this. And so I've taken the rings out and I've just used the sort of studs to hold this in, but this is going to be tucked into this back pocket here like that. So there you have it. You're not going to see that back cover because it's going to sit in there like that, and because it's also the back cover when it's on a table and you're using it, you're not going to see it. The only way you're going to see it is if you flip it over like that. I hope that's helpful. I hope you've enjoyed this video. A bit of a DIY cover out of a folder that I'm not going to use because I don't like, but I like the feel of that now. It doesn't make me want to go, I want to wash my hands. So if you enjoyed this, please give me a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe if you want to see more, particularly how I de-ring this Motem rings, and I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching. Bye.